You're not losing your way. You're simply being repositioned by a divine hand. You may feel like doors are closing, but what's really happening is that your provision is deepening. Stay with me for a moment, because this word is the beginning of a clarity you've been asking for in prayer. It's not a coincidence that this message is reaching you right now. There's a powerful spiritual reason for you to listen to what's coming. What you're experiencing isn't a setback. It's a quiet uplift. Many times, when the path gets tough, our human perspective tells us we're failing, but the heavenly perspective reveals that we're being molded. In the next few hours, your spiritual perception will begin to shift. You don't need loud signs to know that something is moving in your favor. That peace that's beginning to fill your heart right now is enough. As your brother in faith, I ask you to join me on this journey, paying close attention to every detail. I deeply feel that this message has been carefully selected to reach those hearts mature enough to receive it. Please write in the comments, I accept God's process to seal this commitment of your spirit. Sometimes we wonder why others seem to move forward with ease while we continue to struggle. But listen carefully. God doesn't waste any of your tears or sleepless nights. All that weariness you've carried is becoming the foundation of the strength you didn't know you possessed. Think back to that moment when you believed you couldn't go on, and yet, here you are today. That wasn't luck. It was divine faithfulness holding your arm when your strength was failing. Have you ever felt exhausted looking at your bills or thinking about providing for your family? I know there are people watching this who feel that knot in their stomach when the numbers don't seem to match their needs. It's real anxiety, but remember that control isn't in a calculator, but in the one who feeds the birds of the air. Your faith is the most valuable asset you have right now. Right now. God is my provider. To strengthen your confidence, let's remember the story of Elijah. He was exhausted, wanted to give up under that bush, but provision didn't abandon him. Or the widow who had only a handful of flour. She didn't see the solution at first. She only saw an opportunity for obedience. This is how spiritual abundance works. It manifests itself through your willingness to keep walking even when the fog is thick. This is a time for you to prepare. I'm not talking about magic solutions. I'm talking about inner preparation for the opportunities that are about to appear. God is going to connect your life with people and situations you hadn't even sought, but that will fit perfectly into your purpose. Take a moment to reflect. How many times has the Creator surprised you when you had given up all hope? That same hand is extended over you today. Don't remain idle. Keep your faith active and your work constant, because blessings often find those who are on the move. The worries that are keeping you awake at night, whether about your health or family conflicts, are no greater than divine power. You are in a process of transformation, like clay in the potter's hands. The pressure may be uncomfortable, but the result will be a work of immeasurable value. Those situations that seem to be shattering the peace of your home, or that exhaustion you feel at the end of your workday, are not signs of defeat. They are the arena where your spiritual resilience is being tested and strengthened. Do you feel like the weight is too much for your shoulders? It's normal to feel that way when we try to carry the world on our own. I want to tell you something from the heart. As someone who walks beside you in this faith, I too have known the silence of nights without answers. I have felt that lack of desire to face the day. But today, the most certain news I can give you is that you are not designed to move forward alone. There is relief available to you that depends not on your strength, but on your surrender. Remember Matthew's words, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened." This is an invitation for your problems to magically disappear, but a promise that your burden will be shared with the divine. Lightening the load doesn't mean the path is shorter, but rather that you now have unwavering support to walk it. If you feel that weight right now, I invite you to write in the comments, "Jesus, I trust in your rest," and feel how that statement frees up space in your soul. Take a moment. Close your eyes and visualize a solution to the conflict that's keeping you up at night. Don't see it as something distant. See it as a door that's already being unlocked. God takes care of the details you consider insignificant. If He knows the number of hairs on your head, how much more does He know the urgency of your need for provision and the depth of your longings? I'm taking this opportunity to remind you that if this message is bringing peace to your life, please subscribe and share this reflection with someone who needs a break today. Your interaction helps this light reach more hearts. There's something very special I want to highlight about you. God sees when you extend your hand, even when you yourself feel you have little. He sees that bread you shared, that word of encouragement you gave when you too were suffering. Every gesture of kindness that springs from your generosity. When we help others, we sometimes expect a thank you that never comes or recognition that fades away. But the truth is much deeper. Every time you serve the least among us, you were serving the Master himself. It doesn't matter if the world didn't notice. The record of your love is stored in the safest place in the universe. Perhaps you gave advice that saved a life without you even knowing it. Maybe that small financial help you offered was the answer to someone else's prayer. Even if those people forget, heaven remembers. Your seeds of love are never in vain and always return to you in ways you can't imagine. Write with faith. My sowing will bear fruit. To reaffirm your trust in divine justice. Stay alert, because what you are about to receive is not just external help, but an internal transformation that will allow you to see opportunities where you previously saw walls. The reward God has for you doesn't always come in the form of a bank deposit or possessions that wear away with time. Often, true wealth arrives in the form of a peace that surpasses all understanding, a joy that transcends circumstances, and a sense of purpose so clear that it awakens you with renewed strength. Helping others isn't an empty gesture. It's the language you speak directly to Creator. As your brother in faith, I remind you that in Galatians we are given a vital instruction. Bear one another's burdens. It is not a mere suggestion. It is a foundation of our identity. We were designed to be a support, not a spectator of others' pain. When you see someone fall, your outstretched hand is God's instrument on earth. If someone weeps, your silent presence is the comfort that heaven sends. Write in the comments. I am a channel of blessing. To activate that disposition in your heart, perhaps you're thinking, but how can I offer anything if I myself feel like I'm lacking? Let me remind you that true abundance isn't measured by what you have in excess, but by what you're able to share from your own need. Remember the woman who gave her last 2 coins at the temple. To the world it was little, but to divine justice, she gave more than great treasures because she did it with absolute faith. Have you ever wondered if you could be the answer to the prayer someone else offered on their knees last night? Sometimes a message, a call, or a small act of kindness is exactly the miracle someone else is waiting for. Instead of lamenting the lack of light in the world, we are called to light our own lamps. Change doesn't begin with grand global movements, but with those small acts of love that happen in our daily lives. I want to invite you to a genuine commitment. Think of someone who is going through a difficult time today, and right below, I will help. You don't need to give details. Just declare your intention to be a light. Imagine for a moment the impact if each of us decided today to be a relief to someone else's burden. That outpouring of kindness not only helps the recipient, but also radically transforms the giver. As you move your hands to heal someone else's life, God moves his to restore yours. Don't underestimate the power of what you hold in your hands today. Though it may seem small, in the hands of providence, it can multiply to feed multitudes. Stand firm, for by becoming an answer for others, you're opening the windows for your own life to be filled with new clarity. The kingdom of heaven doesn't manifest itself with great fanfare or advertising campaigns. It reveals itself quietly through ordinary people, like you and me, who dared perform extraordinary acts motivated by compassion. You may feel you don't have the power to change the entire world, but you have the absolute capacity to transform the world of a single person. And I want you to know something. When you achieve that, you become a direct collaborator in God's plan for humanity. As your brother or sister in faith, I've learned that God has an amazing way of working. He uses broken people to restore others who are also broken. He uses hearts that have healed from their own wounds to be a balm to those who are still bleeding. Have you ever wondered why you went through that fierce storm? Perhaps it was so that today you can take the hand of someone who is going through their own storm and say with authority, I've been there and it's possible to get through it. I'm pausing here briefly because, as you know, maintaining this connection requires a lot of energy and dedication. If you feel today's message is resonating with you and you'd like to honor the value you've received, you can buy me a symbolic coffee through my Ko-Fi. It's a beautiful way to balance giving and receiving voluntarily, and it allows me to continue sharing these messages with you freely. I've left a direct link in the first pinned comment, and also here below in the video description. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your presence and support. Namaste. Write in the comments, I am an instrument of light, to reaffirm your purpose today. Don't underestimate the impact of a message shared at the right moment. Sometimes, the people around us were massive strength, but behind them are invisible battles. Marriages on the verge of collapse, minds struggling with the darkness of depression, or friends who feel they have no reason to go on. You don't know the exact way of their burdens, but the Creator does. And today He wants to use you as that bridge of hope. If you feel this message could be a lifeline for someone else, don't hesitate to send it right now. A single word of faith can be the distance between a person and their own miracle. By becoming the bearer of that word, the blessing that flows through you will also flood your own home. Pause and declare this with conviction. What God opens, no one can close. Today I want to speak directly to your current situation. You will emerge from this process with strength that didn't exist within you when you entered. Prepare yourself, because you will witness a glory you have never experienced. Those doors you found locked will begin to open before your spiritual persistence. Opportunities you thought were lost are being redesigned to return to your path at the perfect time. Even in your physical and emotional well-being, you will begin to notice a renewal that comes only from the source of life. Your story doesn't end with a challenge. Your story is on its way to becoming a testament of overcoming adversity that will inspire many others. Stay strong with your eyes on the heavens, because your redemption is closer than your physical eyes can see. Even in those areas where you feel order has been lost, there is a promise of restoration. If your relationships feel fractured, or if managing your provision has been a source of stress, remember that the Creator, who began the good work in you, has the power to perfect it to completion. You haven't walked this entire path to be left adrift. Your journey has a purpose, and your spiritual victory is being sealed this very moment. Stay firm in your belief and write in the comments, God completes His work in me, to strengthen your determination. As brothers and sisters in faith, we know that sometimes we need practical guidance to sustain us in our daily lives. That's why we prepared a resource designed to accompany you on your spiritual journey and help you connect with the abundance that heaven has in store for your life. It's our new devotional book. God is telling you this today. This material has been a beacon for thousands of people seeking to organize their lives according to principles of wisdom and faith. If you feel this is your moment to take an active step toward a life of greater clarity and order in all areas, I invite you to explore to the link in the pinned comment. It's a supportive tool for your daily life that will help you embrace the future with a renewed and hopeful perspective. Remember, faith is strengthened by action and constant study of the Word. Brother, sister, let's speak with complete honesty. When challenges intensify, it's human for hope to falter. It's easy to stare at the vastness of the mountain and forget how great is the one who created it. Perhaps today your worry is a bill due, a receipt that brings a lump to your throat, or a health diagnosis that keeps you on edge. These moments of uncertainty are real and painful, but they are not the end of your story. Those conflicts that seem to steal your peace, or that lingering pain, are not signs of abandonment. They are the circumstances where your faith becomes unwavering. Even if today the numbers don't seem to add up or physical exhaustion overwhelms you, there is a supply of peace available to you right now. Write with confidence, my peace does not depend on circumstances, and allow that truth to calm your spirit. Nothing you are going through is hidden from the eyes of heaven. Every detail of your need is known, and every sigh of anguish is heard. Don't focus on the scarcity of the moment, but on the inexhaustible source of solutions that are activated when you choose to trust fully. It's exhausting to face those arguments that seem to repeat themselves endlessly at home, or to carry wounds that have accumulated over the years. I know that in your work environment, you can feel constant pressure, that feeling of giving your all and still feeling like it's not enough. All these situations share a common weight. They make us feel vulnerable and powerless. As your brother in faith, I understand that feeling. It's like being in a dimly lit room searching for a way out that doesn't appear. Perhaps you've already exhausted all your human resources. You've spoken to everyone you needed to speak to. You've tried all the solutions you knew, and yet the situation remains the same. It's natural for discouragement to try to take hold and whisper that nothing will change. But today, this message comes to remind you that your current reality is not your final destination. Write in the comments, God has a final word, to declare that your situation is in His hands. I want this truth to resonate deep within you. The power of divine transformation knows no bounds. No matter how complex a knot may seem to you, nor how long you've been trying to untie it, divine sovereignty doesn't depend on perfect conditions for action, nor is it limited by what you can or cannot do. When the hand of providence moves, what was a wall yesterday becomes a path today. Take a moment to pause and reflect. How many times have you seen the impossible become possible when you least expected it? Let's consider the figure of Job for a moment. His story is the ultimate example of a total crisis. In the blink of an eye, he lost absolutely everything: his livelihood, his possessions, and most painfully, his loved ones. The structure of his life completely collapsed. Shortly afterward, even his health was compromised in an extreme and painful way. In the midst of a scenario where anyone would give up, Job teaches us that the process of rebuilding is often more profound than the loss itself. Sometimes life allows the foundations to be shaken so that what is built afterward will be eternal and unshakable. Your current situation may feel like Job's desert, but remember that the same God who sustained his spirit in the ashes is the one who is with you right now. Write with faith: "My restoration is near," to attune your heart to hope. Don't focus on the time that has passed, but on the faithfulness of the one who sustains you. Even though you may feel weak today, a spiritual renewal is taking place within you. You are being prepared to receive not only what you lost, but much stronger, wiser, and more luminous version of yourself. Imagine for a moment the magnitude of Job's ordeal. There he was, sitting among ashes, trying to soothe his physical pain with a piece of pottery, surrounded by a silence that hurt more than his own wounds. Even those closest to him, those who should have been his refuge, became his critics. His own wife, exhausted by grief, suggested he give up, and his friends, instead of comfort, offered him judgment and rebuke. If anyone had reason to let go of hope, it was him. But at that precise moment, where human logic breaks down, Job uttered a truth that has resonated for centuries and that I want you to embrace today. I know that my Redeemer lives. As your brother in faith, I want you to analyze the power of that word. I know. It wasn't a doubt, a maybe, or a lukewarm hope. It was an absolute certainty that didn't depend on what his eyes saw, but on what his spirit knew. Although everything around him screamed defeat, his inner self proclaimed victory. Write in the comments: "I know that my Redeemer lives," and let that certainty strengthen your soul today. And what happened when the trial served its purpose? The restoration wasn't just a return to the way things were. It was a multiplication. God not only healed his body and heart, but also gave him twice what he had lost. Job saw his descendants flourish and enjoyed a peace known only to those who have been tested in the fire and emerged like pure gold. Our Creator is the expert architect at transforming tragedies into living testimonies and rewriting endings the world had already written. Pause and reflect. What part of your story are you letting the world write off when God still has a pen in his hand? Now, I want to talk about something fundamental that is sometimes misunderstood. The prosperity that heaven promises is holistic. It's not limited to just one aspect of your life. It's a complete blessing that encompasses your mental health, your spiritual peace, the harmony in your relationships, and, of course, your livelihood. It is true that God knows your material needs. He knows perfectly well that you need resources to meet your obligations, to feed your family, and to live with dignity. He doesn't ignore your financial worries, but he wants you to understand that financial provision is only one part of a much larger and more beautiful plan for you. Write with confidence: "I receive God's full blessing to align your desires with his purpose." When you first seek that spiritual connection and inner peace, everything else begins to fall into place. Don't despair over the how or the when. Maintain the integrity of Job and the certainty that your sustenance is secured by the same hand that holds the stars. You are in a process of expansion, and what is coming for you will far surpass what you have left behind. Sometimes we make the mistake of reducing the word prosperity to a simple number on a screen or a piece of paper in our wallet. It's true. The Creator knows you need resources to pay your debts, provide stability for your children, and walk with peace of mind through this world. He is not unaware of your bills or your basic needs. However, his vision for you is far more ambitious than you can imagine. He doesn't just want to fill your hands. He wants to fill your soul to overflowing. Heavenly prosperity is all-encompassing. Imagine having a joy that doesn't fade when the day grows cloudy, an inner strength that remains undiminished even when external circumstances are uncertain. That is what is being offered to you today. A peace that, as Scripture says, defies all human logic. It is a calm that protects your mind from chaos and allows your heart to continue beating with hope, even when the noise of the world tries to convince you otherwise. As your brother in faith, I ask you, what good is the greatest treasure if there is no peace to enjoy it? Therefore, write in the comments, I long for God's peace above all things. This abundance also touches your body and your relationships. God desires for you a vitality that springs from within, an energy that empowers you to fulfill your purpose each morning. And beyond the individual, He desires to surround you with genuine connections, people who are by your side not out of self-interest, but out of true love, friends and family who are steadfast support both on the mountaintop and in the depths of the valley. Let us recall Jesus' words in John 10, verse 10. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. This promise is not an invitation to materialism, but a call to live intensely, to love deeply, and to experience the fullness of the original design that was laid out for you before the foundation of the world. To live in abundance means that you will lack nothing essential, because your source is inexhaustible. Take a moment to pause. Straighten your posture. Take a deep breath and declare with all the strength of your spirit, I accept God's fullness in every area of my life. Feel the weight of those words. Your voice has the power to reaffirm your faith on a spiritual level. You are not asking for something that has been denied you. You are claiming the inheritance of a child who trusts in the generosity of their father. By declaring this truth, you are aligning your thoughts with a greater purpose, opening space for restoration to begin manifesting, first within you, and then in everything around you. Now, I want to invite you to participate in a spiritual exercise with me, a moment of intimacy between you and the Creator. If possible, close your eyes for a moment and activate the vision of your faith. Imagine the Almighty extending His protective hands directly over you. These are the same hands that tenderly shaped life in the beginning, the same hands that authoritatively carved a dry path through the Red Sea, and the same hands that, with infinite compassion, restore hope to those whom society had given up for lost. Those hands, filled with unconditional love, reach you at this very moment. Feel their presence flood your heart, like a wave of serenity dispelling any shadow of discouragement that may have tried to cloud your judgment. Let that light banish the unease that has troubled your nights and the anxiety that has tried to steal the present from you. As your brother in faith, I assure you that there is no corner of your soul that is untouched by His care. Write in the comments, God's light floods my life, to seal this moment of clarity. God is illuminating today the areas you keep locked away, those thoughts that weigh you down, or those scars from the past you'd rather not mention. There is no reason for fear or shame, because where His presence is manifest, any darkness is forced to retreat. There is no emptiness His love cannot fill, no wound His grace cannot heal. Pause and breathe in that peace. Can you feel the weight on your shoulders begin to lift? Right now, the invisible chains that have held you back are breaking. I'm talking about that cycle of habits that have made you feel weak, or that barrier of fear that rises every time a new door opens before you. I'm also talking about resentment, that heavy burden that keeps you anchored to past events, forcing you to relive the pain again and again. Today you are offered the key to letting go of that past. Forgiveness and trust are the tools that heaven places in your hands, so that you may walk in freedom. By releasing what holds you back, you make room for the new that is yet to come. Do not let yesterday dictate the magnitude of your tomorrow. Write with conviction. Today I walk in freedom, to declare that your past no longer has power over you. Remain in this state of openness, because what is happening within you is a prelude to the solutions you will soon see manifested in your external world. You are being renewed from the ground up, so that you can blossom with a strength the world cannot explain. Listen carefully to this, because it's time to silence that inner voice that has whispered that you're not enough, that you don't deserve it, or that your past mistakes have canceled your future. That barrier of disbelief, which tries to convince you that you're destined for a life of limitations, is crumbling right now before the authority of faith. You're not here simply to survive or to watch the days pass by with difficulty. You're here to bear fruit and to see spiritual prosperity manifest in every work of your hands. As your brother in faith, I remind you, you are designed in the image and likeness of the divine. You carry within you a potential the world has yet to see, gifts and abilities that have lain dormant, waiting for the moment to be awakened. Every blockage that prevented your true essence from shining is being removed by a force greater than any human obstacle. I'm pausing here briefly because, as you know, maintaining this connection requires a lot of energy and dedication. If you feel today's message is resonating with you and you'd like to honor the value you've received, you could buy me a symbolic coffee through my Ko-Fi. It's a beautiful way to balance giving and receiving voluntarily, and it allows me to continue sharing these messages with you freely. I've left a direct link in the first pinned comment, and also here below in the video description. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your presence and support. Namaste. Write in the comments, my divine potential is activated today, to confirm that you are ready for the new. Something profoundly powerful is happening within you right now. It's as if a flame of clarity and sanctification is coursing through your spirit. It's not a fire that consumes, but one that purifies and renews. It's the same presence that astonished Moses in the desert, the same power that descended with authority on Sinai and completely transformed the disciples at Pentecost, giving them a courage they hadn't possessed before. That spiritual energy is burning away fear, doubt, and feelings of abandonment right now. It's clearing your vision so you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as an inheritor of unbreakable promises. When the sacred fire touches a life, nothing is ever the same again. Priorities shift. Strength returns, and the path which once seemed blurred is illuminated with astonishing clarity. Pause and feel that renewal. Are you aware that your courage is returning? This is a time to prepare yourself for a period of greater influence and stability. God not only frees you from what bound you, but also equips you with new authority to face your daily challenges. You will no longer walk with uncertainty, but with the assurance of one who knows they are supported by the Most High. What once held you back now becomes a stepping stone to your next level of spiritual growth. Right with faith, the fire of God renews me to seal this transformation in your heart. Keep your heart open, because this purification is a necessary step for the blessings that have been held back to begin to flow freely into your home, your projects, and your peace of mind. The spiritual fire we speak of has an amazing quality. It purifies without destroying. Like gold passing through the crucible, this presence is burning away only what was hindering you, leaving intact all that is good, noble, and authentic within you. At this moment, your motivations are being aligned with a higher frequency. God is setting you apart, not to isolate you, but to consecrate you. As your brother in faith, I want you to understand that there is a specific purpose for you on this earth that bears your name. There is a task, a word, or a comfort that only you can deliver, because only you hold your own story and your own essence. You are being meticulously prepared, like a precision tool in the hands of a master craftsman, for a stage of blessings and fulfillment unlike anything you have experienced in the past. Write in the comments, I accept my divine purpose, to confirm that you are willing to walk in this new stage. It is crucial that you understand that this preparation process is not a coincidence, nor is it something that can be skipped. It is an absolute necessity. To receive a new vessel of blessings, your heart must be enlarged and cleansed. God is not making you wait arbitrarily. He is maturing you so that when spiritual abundance and stability come into your life, you'll have the wisdom to manage them and for them to become a solid root, not something fleeting. Take a moment to pause and reflect. Do you realize that your greatest challenges have actually been your best teachers? This new season on the horizon calls for a more conscious, serene, and deeply connected version of yourself, one more attuned to divine guidance. Every lesson learned in silence and every trial overcome through faith has empowered you to steer your life towards safer harbors. You are leaving behind a scarcity mindset and embracing an inheritance mindset. Write confidently, I am ready for the new, and feel your spirit strengthen with this affirmation. Keep your gaze fixed. What seems like a waiting period is, in reality, a time of deep sowing. Heaven is arranging the pieces, connecting the threads, and preparing the stage where your testimony will shine brightly. Don't despair over the clock's rhythm. Trust in the Creator's rhythm, which always arrives at the perfect moment. As brothers and sisters in faith, we must be honest with ourselves. Heavenly wisdom dictates that provision arrives when the heart is ready to receive it. This is not a limitation, but divine protection. Think about it calmly. If overflowing financial abundance were coming to your life today, but your inner self were still struggling with selfishness or a lack of purpose, those resources could become a distraction instead of a blessing. Money, in hands without spiritual guidance, can fuel fleeting desires instead of building a legacy of light. Similarly, if you were given a position of great authority and influence before you had healed your pride, you might risk seeking your own glory instead of reflecting the Creator's love. Therefore, this time of waiting and character refinement, though it may sometimes feel like a desert, is actually your greatest advantage. God is not withholding anything from you. He is preparing you so that what you receive will not destroy you, but rather uplift you. Write in the comments, "Prepare my heart for your abundance," as a sign of humility and willingness. This process of sanctifying and cleansing your motivations is the foundation of your future holistic success. It's better to advance one step at a time with deep roots than to climb quickly and have nothing to hold on to when the winds blow. You are learning to manage what little you have with integrity, and that is what qualifies you to be entrusted with much. Every time you choose to be generous with what you have today, you are sending a signal to heaven that you are a trustworthy steward. Pause and analyze. What areas of your character have been transformed in this recent time of trial? That transformation is your true treasure. The maturity you've gained from facing scarcity or uncertainty will allow you to handle future abundance with a peace others don't understand. You will no longer be a slave to material things, but a channel through which divine grace flows to others. You are ceasing to be a passive recipient and becoming a distributor of hope and well-being. Write with conviction. I am a wise steward of my blessings, to align your mindset with the prosperity to come. Don't be discouraged if the process feels slow. A diamond needs time and pressure to shine. You're in the final stage of this shaping, and the clarity you're gaining today will be the light that guides your steps in the season of abundance that's about to unfold before you. Stay humble and stay connected, because what's coming requires a heart as big as the blessing itself. Your future is not a matter of chance. It is a design being perfected right now. Imagine the potter working delicately on the clay of your life, smoothing away the rough edges and refining your essence like gold passing to the most intense fire. This process is not meant to consume you, but to remove the impurities and limitations that once held you back. When those extraordinary blessings arrive, and be certain they will, your character will be so strong that you'll be able to honor the Creator with each one, becoming a beacon of light for purposes that transcend time. As your brother in faith, I assure you that every pressure you feel today is part of that necessary shaping. Write right now in the comments, "I am being transformed by the fire of God," and allow this act of faith to activate a profound renewal within you. I want to declare something with authority about your path. What the divine hand has begun in you, nothing and no one can leave unfinished. The Creator is not an architect of unfinished works. What he begins, he carries to its highest expression of glory. Perhaps you feel that some dreams died in your heart due to life's hardships. But today I tell you that those longings are about to be resurrected with a strength you never knew existed. Take a moment to pause and visualize. What is that project you abandoned due to fear or lack of resources? Get ready, because the clarity to pick it up again is on its way. Projects that seemed stalled or that the world had given up for lost are now receiving a breath of new life. Don't focus on what you lack. Focus on the faithfulness of the one who promised to be with you every day. You are moving from a stage of quiet preparation to one of public demonstration of his favor. You don't need to shout for it to be noticed. The fruits you bear will speak for themselves. Write with conviction. My dreams are resurrected today, to declare that your hope has been renewed. Stay alert, for when the fire of refinement does its work, what emerges is a vessel of honor, ready to be filled with provision that will not only sustain you, but bless entire generations. The journey has been long, but the summit is in sight. Brother, I want you to reflect on this. Sometimes fire burns away what we love most, but it's only to make room for what we need most. Your worth hasn't diminished in this trial. On the contrary, you now shine with the authenticity of one who has been tested and has chosen to keep believing. The best part of your story isn't in the past. It's being written right now. I want to tell you something that will change your perspective today. Those projects that were interrupted or that you had to abandon due to lack of energy are not lost. They were simply waiting for the right time to mature. The doors that once closed before you, causing you frustration, are preparing to open again. But this time there's a fundamental difference. When they open now, they will remain open because you will be ready to walk through them with the wisdom that only the desert could give you. As your brother in faith, I assure you that the joy that difficult circumstances try to steal from you will be restored with an intensity you cannot imagine. It will not simply be a return to your former state. It will be a multiplied fullness. If your physical well-being was compromised, there is a promise of inner renewal that will begin to manifest. If the disarray in your material affairs cause you anxiety, prepare to see how order and the flow of provision begin to establish themselves naturally. Write in the comments, God restores what time has taken away, to claim that renewal in your life. Even in those relationships that seem beyond repair, where silence or conflict took hold, there is a possibility of healing that transcends human logic, because the Creator we serve is absolutely true to His essence. His power is limitless, and His commitment to your well-being is a promise that never expires. Always remember this. The truth cannot lie. What is written as a promise of peace and well-being for His children will be fulfilled in your story. Keep your faith firm like an anchor in the midst of the tide. Do not allow the waves of circumstance to distract you from the one who controls the ocean. Pause and breathe in the certainty. Do you feel peace beginning to win the battle against doubt? Prepare yourself, for you are about to witness solutions and miracles that will leave you speechless. Not through your own strength, but through the grace of the one who sustains you. What was once a dead knot begins to unravel. What was once darkness receives its first ray of light. Write with authority. My faith is my anchor to seal your absolute confidence. Keep your heart in a state of expectation, because the closing of this process is near, and what comes after the test is, quite simply, extraordinary. What we have spoken today is not mere words of the wind. It is a decree that already resonates in the spiritual realm, and that you will soon see manifested in your physical reality. All is sealed by the faithfulness of the one who never fails. Amen and amen. As your brother in faith, I am filled with joyful anticipation, eagerly awaiting the testimonies of restoration that will soon begin to blossom in your life. Remember that faith thrives on perseverance, and to support you on your daily journey, I invite you once again to pick up your copy of the devotional, God Tells You This Today. If this video has resonated with your soul or brought you clarity today, I invite you to close this circle of gratitude. I've left a link to my Ko-Fi in the description and pinned comment. If you feel moved to support my journey and creation of this content, your seed of abundance is welcome and deeply appreciated. Thank you for helping me continue to expand this light. This resource is designed to provide you with a spiritual compass to guide you each morning. I want you to feel completely at ease when you acquire it. By clicking, you will enter a platform that boasts the highest digital security standards, protecting your information at all times. Once the process is complete, you will immediately receive this spiritual treasure in your email, so you can begin your transformation without delay. If you are determined to make this the first day of your new stage, write in the comments, Today I choose my transformation. Don't walk this path alone. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. By doing so, you'll be allowing these messages of hope to reach you directly whenever we have a new word to share. It's a simple way to keep your mind focused on the high. Before I say goodbye, look at what's on your screen right now. Don't ignore it. Take it as a sign that today's message has a necessary follow-up for you. Tap that video and discover the next instruction that heaven has prepared for your path. Brother, my greatest wish is that you leave today with one certainty. Your worth doesn't depend on how much money you have, but on who holds your hand. You have been tested to be strengthened, not destroyed. May the peace you felt today upon hearing this message accompany you in every decision you make from now on. You are one step away from seeing the pieces of the puzzle finally fall into place.